Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is StraitOUttaBoston here, aka the King of Boston, and today we have episode 19 of the Reggie Bush Road to Glory. Now, we're entering Reggie Bush's senior year, his final year, the final year of the series, and we're facing Utah to start up the year. We're coming to this year ranked number 14th in the country, and yeah, so what I want to talk about is tonight college football starts, the season starts, all that stuff. I believe South Carolina plays Vanderbilt to open up the year, and then tomorrow night there's a big game between Boise State and Michigan State. I'm definitely watching that. And there's some other good games on Saturday. Definitely the Michigan-Alabama game I'm gonna want to watch, as well as I want to check out how USC does against Hawaii, even though it is just Hawaii. I think the last time they opened up against Hawaii was 2005, which they won the championship that year, so pretty good. Anyway, definitely gonna be checking out some of that, so that'll be all good and fun. What I want to talk about is my predictions for this year. Now I'm gonna say it, start outright saying that my national championship favorite is gonna be USC, because I think their offense is, a top 3 or 4 offense in the nation. Their defense seems to always be solid. I think that, it's not the best defense they've ever had this year, but I think it's gonna be solid, and it doesn't need to be stellar for them to win a national championship, especially with Barkley and Woods and Silas Redd and Marquise Lee and that offensive line. And there's no holes in this offense now that we have Silas Redd, so I'm really liking how it's going. I think USC is definitely going to make a title run this year. As for teams that will contend, I think Alabama might win 10 or 11 games this year. They're not going to go undefeated, and I don't think they're going to go to the national championship game unless a one-loss team gets in. But I see them going 10-2. Because I think that the year after they won the national championship with Greg McElroy and Mark Ingram, the 2010 BCS national championship, the next year they lost a lot of guys on defense, similar to what happened this year, and they really seemed to struggle. They had a lot of new guys, and they won the Capital Bowl against Michigan State, I think, and took that momentum into the next year. So I see them, rebuilding a little bit this year and making a run in another year. I see a very similar situation happening for them. I think LSU is going to be good this year. I think the loss of Tyrann Mathieu it's big, but it's not that big. I think people forget how good that defense is. They did lose Michael Brockers, which is pretty big. He was pretty good on that defensive front line. But other than that, they have a lot of returning starters. They're going to look for a new QB. But back to what I was saying about Alabama, speaking of QBs, I think A.J. McCarron could have a very good year this year. They really let him kind of let it loose in the BCS National Championship game, and he really showed what he could do. So I just want to touch on that quickly. But back to LSU. I think LSU is going to be decent this year. I think they could have a solid year, probably my second favorite to win the national championship behind USC. I could see the USC and LSU meeting up in the national championship game. But I see them winning the SEC West. Maybe Arkansas. I think Arkansas could sneak in there. Tyler Wilson might be a Heisman candidate this year, to be quite honest, guys. I think that LSU-Arkansas game on Thanksgiving weekend is going to be quite the game to watch. Excuse me. So that's definitely going to be a fun game to watch. I'm really excited for those kind of games. And obviously, Alabama and Arkansas will be good. And LSU, Alabama, of course. But I'm really looking at Arkansas as a sneaky team this year. I like South Carolina as well. I think Steve Spurrier is really coaching up those guys well. They lose Alshon Jeffrey, which I think is pretty big, but I think they'll be able to fill in for him. They really stepped up last year, in a year no one really gave them much credit. I think that they could be very good. And Arkansas's only 2 losses last year were to Alabama and LSU. So other than the fact that they played the 2 best teams in the country, they were undefeated. And you return Niles Davis, you return Tyler Wilson, you return a lot of that defense. There's not much stopping this Arkansas team, I think. I really think that'd be a good chance. Michigan is another team I like this year. A lot of returning players from that Sugar Bowl team last year. I think they could win the Big 12 and maybe play in the Rose Bowl this year. I don't know if they're going to make the national championship. I think Ohio State might be decent this year. That could be a tough game for them. Definitely Wisconsin is a very good team. They lose Russell Wilson, but I think they're still going to be solid. I think Russell Wilson's the difference, though, which is why I think I'm going to pick Michigan to win the Big 10. I don't even know. Is it the Big 10 still, or is it just like the Big? I don't even know, but I'm going to pick Michigan to win the Big 10, Wisconsin to be the runner-up, just because I think that Michigan has more pieces, and I think Russell Wilson was the difference on that team last year that sent them to the Rose Bowl. And did they play in the Rose Bowl last year? I can't remember, to be quite honest. I believe I'm gonna say yes, they did. Yes, they lost to Oregon. That's right. And on the Pac-12, I think it's pretty much a consensus that it's going to be an Oregon USC Pac-12 championship game. There aren't really any other elite teams in that conference. You could say Washington could be solid this year. I could see Washington having an Arkansas type situation, or maybe they only lose to Oregon and USC. But I think Washington's not quite there. And I don't see too many other elite teams in that division. I want to touch on Notre Dame quickly. I think Notre Dame could have a very solid year. I see Notre Dame as, a team that has, I can't remember if Tommy Rees is starting or not, but, and I know Mark Mariota is starting for Oregon, which is good, because Mark Mariota is very, very good. But back to Notre Dame. This commentary is like all over the place. I'm like going back and forth between teams. I apologize, but I want to get this commentary done, so I'm not going to do another take. It's really lazy, but oh well, I apologize. Anyway, so I think Notre Dame could be a decent team this year. I think Monte Teo is really going to lead that defense, and I think playing in Ireland really hurts them because it's going to be hard to kind of come back, and you see it with NFL teams a lot when they play in London, is because they get the bye week afterwards, but it's like it really screws them up. It happened to the Saints the year after they won the Super Bowl. Happened to the Patriots, I believe, the year they went 14-2 or something like that. I can't quite remember, but I think playing in Ireland's going to hurt them a little bit, and I also think that I think they'll be good, but I don't think they're ready for national championship. Another team I want to talk about is going to be the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma's a team that seems to disappoint every single year. I find them to always have high expectations, but never really fulfill them. Now, they do have returning quarterback in Landry Jones. However, last time they did have a top prospect quarterback come back, it was Sam Bradford, who did get hurt that year, and they were really not able to, come back and be the same team they were the year before. So I think Oklahoma will be decent this year. I think they can win the Big 12. Kansas State might contend for that. I could see Texas maybe coming up there in third or fourth. I think it's going to be between Kansas State and Oklahoma. Baylor's not going to be the same without Robert Griffin. I definitely think they're going to fall off. So, and losing Kendall Wright too, and Josh Gordon. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge for them. Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State is in a position where they could also sneak up to third or fourth in that conference. I think that it seems like. Oh, look at Reggie. He's showboating and he fumbles. Oh, Reggie. He was showboating there and he just fumbled it. Oh, man. Oh, man. Anyway, so I think Oklahoma State could come back, maybe go 8-4, 9-3, but I don't see much more for them. I don't really like their team, to be quite honest, losing Blackman and Whedon, and they also had a decent running game last year, but maybe they'll have to utilize that a little bit more this year. They never had a good defense, so that's the only thing. So I definitely think my national championship teams are USC, LSU. My Big 12 winners, probably Oklahoma. Big 10, going to go with Michigan. SEC is LSU. Pac-12 is USC. I give them the slight edge over Oregon just because of their defense. I think it's going to be a little bit more solid than Oregon's. I think Mark Mariota might struggle against them if they play in the Pac-12 championship. And let's see, what other conferences am I missing? The ACC. Now, the ACC, I think Clemson is going to repeat in that, to be quite honest. I think they're going to miss Sammy Watkins the first couple games. They might lose to, who do they play week 1? Is it NC State, I think? Or, I can't remember quite who it is. But I think that Clemson is going to come out very solid with Sammy Watkins being a Heisman Trophy candidate. And Taj Boyd also could be a Heisman Trophy candidate, to be honest. He's pretty good. So I like them. I think they'll beat out Florida State and Virginia Tech, even though Logan Thomas is going to have a very good year, I think. And that's going to wrap up this video. This touchdown is going to get called back for a holding penalty. But anyway, this video is coming to a close, so I'm going to end it off here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thumbs up the video if you did, and subscribe if you want to see more NCAA videos like these. This is the last carry of the game, I believe. Maybe one more after this. I can't quite tell. But no, this is the last carry of the game. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, I'm out. Peace.